Howdy there, this is Mr. J, and I'm here to talk about how to read the note names on the staffs, the treble clef staff, the bass clef staff, and the grand staff. Now, the website that I'm using today is musictheory.net, and if you go to that website, you can click on Lessons, and then I'm looking at the staffs, clefs, and ledger lines exercise. So I'm just going to go through step by step explaining what they say and making sure that you understand what it is. So a staff is the foundation upon which notes are drawn. Notes are the symbols that tell us what sound to make, and usually that, for instruments anyway, that's what finger to press down and what partial to play if you're a brass player. The modern staff has 5 lines and 4 spaces between each line. Each line and a space represents a different pitch. So if you're a piano player, you see that it represents a different key on the keyboard. For an instrument, it represents a specific fingering. Clefs assign individual notes to certain lines or spaces. What that means is that each line and each space gets a specific letter name, and that letter name will help you determine what fingers to press down on your instrument. There are 2 major clefs. There's the treble clef and the bass clef. Orchestra, for violas, you also use the alto clef, which is kind of a funky one. All right, let's start with the treble clef, which is also called the G clef. It's called that because it looks like a G, but it also indicates the G line, as you can see right here. The note that the treble clef circles is the G line. So any note that lands on that line is a G. The space above that line is A. Remember, there are no H's in the musical alphabet. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then repeats A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The note above that A is a B. And then the process continues all the way up until you get past the top. So when you get to this G here, we run out of room, and so we have to extend the staff. And the way we do that is by adding what we call a ledger line. A ledger line is a small line that just extends the musical staff either above or below. And now we can continue adding notes higher up. Pretty cool. All right, the bass clef staff, which is also called the F clef. It's called the F clef because it indicates with this thick dot and the 2 small surrounding dots the F line. You can see here, that red line is the F line. Any note which lands on that line is going to be called F. So following the same pattern that we just used the alphabet to go up and down the rest of the lines, we can fill in the rest of the remaining notes. So going up on my staff, ascending, we go up in the alphabet, forward in the alphabet. Going down, descending, we go down in the alphabet. So F, down to E, down to D, down to C, down to B, A, and G. Okay, now for my piano instruments and sometimes my keyboard percussion and instruments like that, we have a kind of staff we call the grand staff. So when we eliminate this middle line here, bloop, we suddenly have 5 lines and 4 spaces on top, 5 lines and 4 spaces on bottom. 5 lines and 4 spaces. Does that sound like how we build the treble clef and the bass clef staffs? Sure does. So when I add a treble clef on top, because that's our higher sounds, and a bass clef on bottom, because that's our lower sounds, we see now that there is a relationship. The treble clef staff is a precise amount above the bass clef staff. The 2 staffs share a note in common. That's called middle C. You remember that line we eliminated? That lives on that line. Like I said, it's called middle C because it corresponds to the middle staff line in the grand staff. So, remember the treble clef indicates the G line, the bass clef indicates the F line. From there, all you have to do is use the alphabet to fill in the missing parts. There are 5 lines and 4 spaces to each, and I think that's about it. So, I hope this video was helpful to you. Thanks for watching.